I mean, it means a lot. I mean, it's an honor to be compared to Tim Parrish. I've heard a lot about him. I mean, it's just an honor.
I've had players in the past that were considered, but I was glad to finally see one of my guys get that recognition, and it was so deserving on his part.
Given the program's fierce devotion to the concept of self above team and its religiously deliberate de-emphasis of individual stats, you could argue that the degree of difficulty in winning an individual basketball award for a Reno Paxton coach team is about as high as they come. Titan players, after all, are taught to win, not to stuff their resumes or build campaigns, which I guess is what makes Paxton Harmon's senior season so extraordinary, that the statistical excellence he created was a byproduct and not a focus of what he did on a basketball court. And in this instance, it was the how Harmon did it, rather than the numbers themselves, that iced this award for him. In short, Paxton assumed and excelled in a role for his team that defies simple two-word definition or explanation.
In high school coaching, you have to make adjustments according to the kids that you have because you don't recruit. And Paxton actually talked about this after the season was over. I said, yeah, you played point guard for us out of necessity, not out of choice. The way he played his sophomore year, he was our leading scorer, but he was more of a forward and, you know, coming off screens or taking this guy to the basket from the wing. And he kind of brought this on at the end of his junior year. You know, he would bring the ball up and break somebody down off the dribble, and he dropped a couple of 30-point games near the end. And it made me start thinking about this, you know, maybe we create this hybrid, you know, point forward, not like Paul Presley was, because he wasn't, you know, a guy that would take somebody off the dribble, but we kind of combined the point guard responsibilities with a point forward, and we came up with Paxton.
Oh yeah, definitely. I enjoyed having the ball in my hands a lot. I mean, I like to be able to create for myself and the rest of my team, and it was fun playing point guard.
In theory, that move could have resulted in a disaster in design flaw, because as a coach, in essence, you're giving free rein in the offense to the most natural and gifted high-volume scorer this area has produced in a decade. But in Paxton's case, at least at first, it created the opposite problem.
There were times I told Paxton, I said, you need to be more aggressive. I got on him more about not being aggressive enough, because we needed him creating space, and there'd be times he'd pass when he should have shot it, and I'd say, that was one you probably should have shot. But it's great that you have to deal with that this kid wants to make sure he's including people. And you know, here's a phrase that we use in practice a lot, is be selfish and then unselfish. Take the ball hard to the basket. If somebody gets in your way where you can't score, pass it to a teammate that can. So whether it be a post player or a guard, you want kids to be able to think that way. And Paxton did a tremendous job where that was concerned.
I just tried to simplify the game. This coach tells us all the time, if you're going to play the right way, it's got to be simple. And I'm not going to force anything. If I got the shot, I'm going to shoot it. And if someone's open, I'll pass it to them, and they'll shoot the open shot.
From both a structural and a statistical standpoint, Paxton Harmon then proved to be a basketball jack of all trades. He'd morph easily from team leader in one instance to selfless glue guy in the next, often in the same sequence. And his play hit nearly every statistical touchstone, at 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and 20 points per night. But in essence, it was Paxton's one true outlier skill that set the stage for everything else.
His ability to catch the ball and shoot it from any play, you know, 12 foot on the baseline, 12 foot away from the basket, facing it 15 feet, 20. Paxton could use screens, he could fade or curl, and then if you came out and got him, he could pull up off the bounce, and that's unusual. Usually you have kids that can hit threes, or they can take it to the basket, they can post up. Paxton could do all those things. He did a really nice job of adjusting to where we wanted him, but I think the thing that kind of separated him from other people was that mid-range pull-up jumper off the dribble, off the catch.
I know it wasn't the storybook ending you wanted, obviously, to the end of the season. What stands out to you? What was the most memorable thing about this season for you?
I don't think I've ever had a connection with everyone on the team like I did this year when it comes to off the court or on the court. Even on the court, we were always able to joke around with each other, and it was just like a group of 15 best friends, and it was just so much fun playing with them.
Basketball is all about creating space, and Paxton was excellent at doing that for us, for himself and his teammates. And as I said before, you have to accept that responsibility. He could have been a really good player, but he became a next level player because of his willingness to try to do what we asked him to do and accept the fact that sometimes he might fail.
And clearly that didn't happen very often for a young man who capped his high school career with a first-team All-State honor from the Illinois Coaches Association. As for the next evolution, a lot remains up in the air at this point for the 2013 KHQA Player of the Year.
Ideal situations to play one or the other. I don't know where or what sport at this point. Baseball's always been my first love of sport, and I've always thought I'd play baseball at the next level, but basketball's kind of starting to take over, and we'll see after baseball season which one I want to go play.